I was looking at this, the way this is working, and I think I'm gonna swap this so that the hub is the steering arm is fixed on this side and then wobbly on this side. I think that'll look better. So in that case, all I have to do is delete this one. Go on here, F to find it, open it up. I'm going to delete that direction constraint. And let's just move this. All I need to do is place this center, or place the item directly over that hub. Then pick the hub and let's drag that into the hub. I'll make a locator. Where is my locator? Move it down. Shift A to zoom in on it. Okay, so let's parent these two. So this locator will go into the steering rack, and then this arm will point to the locator. Let's go direction X negative. Okay, this can go up. Pick these two and bevel. Okay, hopefully this works good. Yeah, I think this looks a little bit better with the side fixed. Okay, let's save this. I'm gonna pick this polygons, Control X, pick the body, paste polygons. Let's move. Actually, I'm gonna hide this. H to hide it. Let's hide the body. I'm gonna make one more locator and put it right above the front wheel. Well, let me put this back to 0. Okay, this goes right here. Okay, and what this locator does is it's gonna shoot a ray down into the floor, into the ground, and see where the ground is. So let's call this ground measure. Alright, so now we need a ground. Let's do F2, shift, click on the plane. Let's bring this up. Z to edge extend and drag it out. Let's move it down below the wheel. Shift D, make sure this is on faceted. Enter, Shift D, enter, Shift D, enter, Shift D, enter. D for airbrush. So let's right click drag to set our airbrush. And then, oops, deselect everything. D, airbrush, and then we can start to make some lumps for the terrain. Okay. Now with this thing, we're going to pick the ground measure and then pick the ground and hold down on this bottom one, you might be up here, intersect line, but hold and drag down to intersect surface. So that's, again, that's the bottom one. Drag down to intersect surface. So now you can see that there's a little dotted line, and at the end is a locator. So let's call this locator at the bottom ground intersect. And as you can imagine, if we move the ground, this thing is trying to intersect. But the problem is it's kind of jumping around everywhere, which is not what I want. So I'm going to change the ground intersect mode. So let's open up the ground measure, the little plus sign, grab the intersect, check mode to ray. And now axis should be Y and negative axis. Now when we move the ground, that ray is shooting straight down, which is much better. Okay, so now let's see, let's set this up a little bit. I like to have the ground like melting into the wheel a little bit, so let's also set the natural position of the suspension. Let's say that's the natural height. You can adjust this to, okay, that's natural height. Maybe this goes up a little bit. Just want the wheel to be buried into the ground a little bit. Alright, so now we can grab the wheel controller, which again controls all the suspension, and all we have to do is parent it to that intersect. So let's find the wheel controller and just drag that wheel controller down into the ground intersect. So now when this thing moves, it will follow the ground intersect. Woohoo! Alright, that is pretty much our setup. All we have to do now is make the wheel turn.